They were all teammates in basketball.
Segregated water fountains, by the way. You know who missed out?
Whatever, in Oakland, California.
Whatever white people weren't drinking from that water fountain. That's who missed out with segregated.
There you go.
No,
whoa, what's going on there?
I'm glad you stopped us down.
But and by the way, I know. Let's get past Frank Robinson for a second. Can you imagine the jerk who had a Hall of Fame vote? Stephen A. brought it up and was like, I have a point to make about what a first ballot, and didn't vote for Frank Robinson. Over 10% of the voters didn't vote for him. Do you know how stupid you have to be not to vote for Frank Robinson in the Hall of Fame?
10.8%.
Yeah, fortunately, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Max, this no deal with AD, we're all hyped. We thought he'd become an LA. Who does this look worse for that this didn't happen, New Orleans or LA?
This is actually the Pelicans. Not just worse for it, it's going to be bad for them, and it's going to be good for the Lakers in the long run. Believe it or not. Look, the Lakers offered them every single asset they had, plus draft picks to get AD now, and that's the right thing to do, because if you have a chance to grab a generational talent and put him with the best player except for Michael Jordan, who ever lived, basically, do it. Do it now. I get it. But it didn't happen. So what does that mean? I mentioned this free agent crop is not just KD and Kawhi, which would be amazing enough. It's also Kyrie. It's also Jimmy Butler. It's also Kemba Walker. It's also a million different guys, some of whom may not take the max offer, may not be offered the super max by their team, or I call it a super max. It's really the max extension a team can give you, which is more than what you can get elsewhere. But they may feel like they'd rather be in LA, in spite of what everyone's, LeBron James, this and that. The story's going to be about him. Maybe Kyrie is told you get the keys to the Lakers. Maybe Kobe Bryant makes that. Who knows, right? But even if that doesn't happen, I've mentioned guys like Mirotic or even guys like Marcus Morris or Danny Green, good, useful, veteran two-way players, right? What does that mean? It means the Lakers would still have time not only to add maybe a guy like a Butler or a Kyrie, even if they don't get the guys they want, and also have those veteran role players, and then free up Ingram, Kuzma, Ball, Hart, Zubac, picks to, in some form, to grab another all-star player. There's a good chance the Lakers wind up better off for this deal not having happened. Meantime, I don't think the Pelicans get a better offer than they just got. I think that he's headed to Toronto for some package that Ujiri will put together, knowing, yeah, we know this is a one-year rental, but like with Kawhi, we're willing to take that risk. So I think the Pelicans get less than they were offered.
Well, a couple of things. Number one, back to Robinson, I was told that Bill Russell didn't even start on that team, just as an aside.
Stop it.
I swear, that's what I was told. Somebody just told me that.
Who they have, Godzilla and King Kong on that team?
Bill Russell. They just said that. They said Bill Russell. It was high school, though, but they said at the time, Bill Russell didn't start. That's what they said. Anyway, back to this. Zubac, by the way, is now a Clipper. He's no longer with the Lakers. But
right. Right. No, excuse me, right, because they made the deal.
They made the deal, right? So let's go on from there. I'm going to say that the Lakers are the team that gets the worst end of this. You know why? Because you don't get Anthony Davis. Now you got to get something this summer. I don't know if Kawhi is going to go there. The Clippers think they're going to get him. We don't know if Kevin Durant's going to go there. You're hearing the Clippers and the Knicks if he doesn't stay in Golden State. Kyrie Irving, New York. You're not hearing L.A. And so you Kemba Walker, max deal in Charlotte. He ain't throwing away all of that money.
Probably not.
It remains to be seen what may happen. Okay, Klay Thompson wants to be a Warrior for life, but we don't know if he means it or not. We'll find out this summer. There's so many question marks. The bottom line is if you got Anthony Davis, that was a bird in the hand. All you would have needed were players that are incredibly obtainable. The fact that you don't have him and you don't know if you're going to get him or not, I think spells trouble for the Lakers and specifically LeBron James in terms of his recruiting. And we'll talk about that, and I'm definitely going to talk to my man Magic about it. I'm going to get him sooner or later. But here's the deal. When we look at it from that perspective, now we transition to New Orleans. I'm not sure that they're going to get a worse offer. I'm not sure about that. This is Anthony Davis we're talking about here.
On a one-year rental.
One of the top 5 players in the world. And I'm not sure it's going to be a one-year rental.
You can't be sure it won't be.
Well, no, I understand that.
Lakers could be sure it wouldn't be.
I understand that. But the point is this. We got to think about what we got to hope for. Because we all want Anthony Davis in L.A. Damn it, I know I want him in L.A. Here's the deal. Anthony Davis, if he has to wait until another 2 seasons, this season and next season, until he gets to Los Angeles the year after, if it comes to that. Look, LeBron ain't getting no younger. Look, father time now. We don't know. See, we constantly thinking about the talent that may arrive. We're not thinking about time and how that could potentially work against. Now, we watched LeBron last night, who still ain't 100% in cruise control, putting up triple doubles. It was unreal. There's no question about that. But we look at him, and we're assuming he's going to be what he was 2 years from now. And I think that's something.
Okay, how about this one? How about this one?
You got to get something quicker than.
Fine, let me just give you some scenarios, right? Are we sure Boogie Cousins stays in Golden State? Are we sure Boogie Cousins gets a max deal?
I think he stays in Golden State.
Well, maybe, but you don't know. And
Time out.
Yeah.
You think Boogie Cousins? Don't get me wrong, because I know Boogie Cousins can ball and he can average 25 and 12.
No, he's not Anthony Davis. But
but I'm saying Boogie Cousins works in LA for you.
Yeah, here's my point. What if the Lakers ran out a lineup like, I don't know, give me a point guard who's available. Mike Conley is available on the trade market. Mike Conley, let's say they wind up signing a Jimmy Butler. A Mike Conley, Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, Kyle Kuzma, Boogie Cousins lineup. Like, the point is, and that's to say nothing of the other stuff you can get for the assets you have. My point is, that's just off the top of my head. The Lakers, by retaining their young, cheap, team-controlled assets that are still ascending, and yet are not just draft picks that you have to develop, they're already somewhat developed. Those are nice things to have. Plus a huge amount of cap space, plus LeBron James, plus the Lakers brand, and the LA market can make moves.
But in my opinion, you're talking about sustained success, and I get that.
Yep.
I'm talking about what it's going to take to win the chip in the window LeBron has available
I'm saying you
to
might be
him.
Easier.
And I'm saying you need another. It doesn't even have to be a super. You need another star with LeBron.
But Jimmy Butler and Boogie Cousins count as. My point is this: it may be actually.
I don't like that one.
It may be a quiet as kept, quicker route to a championship by retaining all these assets, having cap space, and not winding up with Davis right away. It may be.
Right.
Yeah, but you got to wind up with something. Is all I'm trying to say. Something, and they may get nothing.
So yesterday on the show, we discussed LeBron's Instagram post about the double standard between the way owners and players are viewed in the NBA. He clarified what he meant by the post when he spoke to reporters yesterday. Take a listen.
They understand the one side where, if a guy gets traded or if a guy gets waived or if a guy gets released or cut or whatever, then, it's for the best of the franchise, which I agree. I mean, teams have to do what's best for their franchise to set them up for their near future or for the present. But at the same time, players have that ability to do as well. And if a player asks to be traded because he feel like it's for the better of his profession, for the better of his career, that should be the same conversation. That should be the same narrative, and not that this guy or this kid or whatever the case may be is selfish or ungrateful. I see it from both sides. I see it from both angles, both franchise and players. But it's just a narrative that we would like to be able to be changed. But I think it was unfortunate, the Harrison Barnes piece, though.
Stephen A., what do you think of the clarification?